emergency manager came from. And just to go down this page, one of the other interviews that I talked about, is when they came in, when the Jones Day flew from Cleveland to Detroit, this bill, this is May 21st, 2013, their airfare, and everybody knows if you're coming from Cleveland to Detroit, if you drive, it's about 3 hours. Their airfare was $9,198.05.
How many people?
Yeah.
This is 4 people.
Okay, just a moment.
And then, when they got to Detroit, they left Metro Airport. They took a cab from Metro Airport downtown. Taxi charges $774.35.
Maybe we tip on top of that.
And then they had a reproduction charge, and this is Xerox, $4,326.40. And then there's another charge down here that they had, and everybody keeps trying to figure what it is. It says printing charges of $4,439.04. Now, when the reporters asked them about this, Mr. Orr has never responded to this document. But this total document is the actual invoices that are being paid. I got one Detroit News reporter to do a story on it, and I don't know if you heard about it. But they did a story on the cost of the people who they have in the firm. The attorney here is a C-ball. He worked 13 hours at $1,000 an hour. It's $13,000. And so the fee schedule is one of the things that I talked about in this news article. Is from $1,000 an hour. The lowest cost is $325 an hour. And the report that was on the $325 an hour was a college student who had just graduated last year. Not an attorney at all, but is doing secretarial work. They're paying the individual only $22 an hour, but they're billing at $325 an hour for his services. So when people talk about, again, and when I give you these facts, and these are the actual bills, is that the reason why I read this to you is so people can understand the city is not bankrupt. When you can pay those kind of fees and wages to people, the city is not bankrupt. So that's just a little short overview, and I guess I'll stop there. And I can answer any kind of questions that you want. Certainly if people like to see the invoices or bills and stuff that I talked about, they're here. You can look at any of them at any point. But that's why I carry these books around. Because as I go around and speak to groups, most people would believe that it's just unbelievable what I'm telling you. But I do have the factual documentation that supports what I'm saying to you. And most of the attorneys that were trying to get these documents through FOIA were not able to get them. And the city, as you know, has been denying. That's one of the issues you have been reading in the paper about transparency. But I got some pretty good connections around. I got a lot of people who know the type of work I do, and they've been giving me documents. I had met with a person last night, and I left my phone out in the car, but I just noticed that left out. But I was going to read you even the email. They sent me some documents which we're also going to be dealing with in court. And at one point, I did get a story on the front page, and I'm sure you probably saw it. And that was on the Ilitch story. When Ilitch, on the front page of the news, it said Ilitch owes over $200 million to the city of Detroit and hasn't paid. But what's significant about that? The story ran for one day, and it was snatched. Now, why was it snatched from the news? Because they wanted to cover it up. They don't want people to know the money that he owes. So that's one of the significant things also that's coming up in this litigation that we have Wednesday, because I have all the invoices for the Ilitch to show that he has not been paying his taxes
Really?
to the city of Detroit. Dan Gilbert, who has just recently, as you've been hearing in the news, bought up 42 buildings, not paying any taxes. These are the documents that I received last night. These are city documents that show exactly that these people are not paying their taxes. He's buying up all these buildings and haven't paid one dime of taxes on them. Ilitch is buying up, and as people have heard, he went to the legislature, $450 million that they granted. $283 million is going to come from the public, from us. It's not just Detroit. It's public funds going to be used. $283 million to build this new stadium that he wants to build with retail attached to it. Now, he's a billionaire. So why should we have to pay for his stadium? If he wants to build a new stadium with retail, build a new stadium with retail. You got the money. It shouldn't come from us. It should be public funds used to build that stadium. So those are the facts and stuff that are going on. And I got in a little bit of bailout, and I didn't get to the other part. But as I said, if you look at it, there is an article in the Lansing Journal from Senator Khan that he's all upset, and some of the other Republicans are pretty pissed off about taking this over this bill out, and there's no money to fix it, and there's other state parks that are going along with the Capitol that needs to have things done to them. So I guess with that, as I said before, I'll stop, and if anybody has any questions or whatever, I'll be more than happy to answer them. I'm sorry, like I say, my voice is a little bit hoarse, but I'm constantly doing interviews. I'm constantly doing things with the Washington Post and so forth. But like I said, again, I'll be doing another interview with the New York Times Monday and a new station that, if you all have not seen it, Al Jazeera. Yeah, I will be on that. I think it's next week, at the end of next week, or either the beginning of the week after. I'm doing a live taping with them, and so I will be also on that show dealing with the documents, because other agencies and other state medias, outside state medias, they're questioning why isn't the Detroit media reporting all this stuff, and why aren't they speaking up about all these documents and all the factual stuff. So Detroit is not reporting it, but everybody else is.
Lon and Cal,